I'm sure you're aware that technical writing isn't catchy, witty, or likely to make you weep. It does not get a Pulitzer Prize, nor does it make the New York Times bestseller list. Yet technical writing is absolutely essential in this modern world, covering instruction manuals, reports, grant applications, speeches, and infographics. Someone must translate high-level concepts, often conveyed in impenetrable languages, for diverse audiences in varied mediums. Technical writing is not art. It offers text and copy, not prose. For your needs, you want a writer who knows to stay out of the way, and has the discipline to do so. Which, to be fair, goes against why many writers write. We like playing with words, making them dance like ballerinas, deftly dealing them out like a magician manipulating a deck of cards. But when your customer is shuffling through your product manual for how to turn the dang thing on or what to do if there's the smell of burning rubber, the last thing they want is fancy writing making things any harder than they need to be. Essential to address up front is a simple question: who will be reading this? Because so much of the writing depends on the answer. The delivery must change to meet the audience's level. Same for a manual. Is this meant for knowledgeable professionals, or does it need to teach someone pulled off the street? A past client of mine was a civil engineering firm hired to do a major repiping project some 50 feet beneath a major boulevard in Los Angeles. During their months of work, the crew invented many systems, yet never wrote anything down. When I was brought in, this is how I presented the project manager and engineers the issue of writing for the proper audience. I can give you directions from this job site to my house that starts with, "Get on the 5." I also can start the directions with, "This is a car key." Sometimes, the writer needs you to clarify whether a paraphrase makes the point without sacrificing accuracy. Other times, the raw material is incomplete, erroneous, or conflicting. Maybe during a debriefing, an engineer dropped an unfamiliar bit of jargon. In all of these cases, the last thing you want is for the writer to guess. Rather, it's better to sacrifice a moment of time if the alternative will live forever as a glaring error or confusing text. As I learned at my college paper, it's not a mistake until it's printed. With instruction manuals, sometimes this involves the writer getting hands-on experience with the product, which I have done. For a major university in Southern California, I was given the project of taking manuals, written by an engineer whose native language was not English, and editing to increase accessibility. Acronyms are unavoidable in technical writing. I've written about TBMs, tunnel boring machines, SRBs, solid rocket boosters, and an athlete who twice led the NBA, National Basketball Association, in PPG, points per game. The general rule of thumb: it's never a bad idea to spell out an acronym's source words on first reference. It will be unobtrusive to a knowing audience, but to readers coming in cold, now they know, and you're not mucking up the copy. After that, then use them sparingly. In a sentence, a maximum of 2. Try to keep it to no more than 3 in a paragraph. If necessary, use synonyms and rewrite the copy. Once I held up the publication of a Big 3 automaker's annual report because the acronyms, literally scores of them, rarely were spelled out on the first reference, yet after "café" had been used a dozen times from the get-go, a random corporate average fuel economy would be thrown in. It was a painful lesson for me to learn, but a technical writer can't assume the subject matter experts got everything correct. A pollster will state 1 in 9 people responded with "none of the above," but a quick look at the table shows it's more accurate to say 1 in 12. Of course, in some technical documents the content is outside the writer's fields of knowledge, so verifying facts may be difficult to the point of impossible. But you do what you can with math, names, titles, and other low-hanging fruit. Discrete sections work to the benefit of readers' understanding because the pauses in between help with digestion, so to speak, as well as signaling a new concept is coming. In an instruction manual, the end of a section should represent for the reader a moment when it's safe to take a break. But make sure it's a safe moment to take a break. If you're in need of technical writing, you most likely generated that content through your expertise in your chosen field. But no one is assumed to be an expert in everything. That's why you should choose Ghostwriters Central for your white papers, conference presentations, procedural guides, user manuals, and more. The copy we return will be clean, clear, tight, and usually delivered well before your deadline. So while your content may be technical, we give our assurances that getting it all written down will be easy. Come visit our website. You'll find our fees on the rates page. Thank you for watching.